Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in. You have reached the Reach podcast show, where every show goes beyond the listener's ears. This morning, y'all see these faces I have here. These beautiful ladies are in the room. We have Miss Meka and her mother, Momma P. I appreciate y'all being here this morning. And today is all about Meka Day, all about their brother, and in recognition of them. And the situation. So we wanted to just honor this event that's going to be taking place on Saturday. So I wanted to use today as an official sponsor, have the opportunity to share this information yet again, which unless you've been living under a rock, like I say, you've seen it. We appreciate everybody that has been a part of it up to this point. I know it means the world to Meka and her mother as well. So it was just important for me to have both of these. So again, I appreciate y'all being here. Again, I know I like to do like you do. Officially introduce yourself again.
Diamond. I'm the host of the Morning Tea Radio Show right here on GMT Radio Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and I am also Houston, which is a talk show bringing exposure to everything within our city on Houston Public Access TV on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m.
Absolutely. And Mama?
I am Faye Morris, better known as Momma P.
Absolutely.
Better known as Mimo to all of the children in the neighborhood. And I am the mother of Jamaica and Meka Diamond, and I'm the mother of Jackie.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, ladies, I appreciate y'all, being here, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to have y'all here this morning. So, again, I have to start off the show this morning, of course, talking about one situation, which is the grandfather and the father, okay, Mr. Harry I'm sorry,
Williams.
Mr. Harry R. Williams. Y'all seen him streaming on your page and on your page as well. So, Mama, I'd like to start with you in regards to all the little different things that have been going on. He was honored on my birthday, which is November 11th. We know he's a veteran. So if you give the listeners who may not know or might have missed it, just more information about your father.
Yes, my dad is a 92-year-old World War II veteran. And he's a superstar now.
Yes,
he is a superstar. So he just listening to us about a lot of things that happened in those times. It's so inspiring, and it's mind-boggling, because even something as small as him telling us that when he was in the military, it was called the Army Air Force. It was one branch. In 44, the Air Force separated from the Army and became its independent branch, which a lot of people don't know. And just to make sure, my dad, I was checking him to make sure he knew what he was telling me, because he is 92. And when I Googled it, it's true. Wow. So that was a lesson learned for a lot of people who said, I didn't know that.
Right.
But I just everybody this has been a good year for my dad. They rebuilt his home in May, and then he's been honored as a veteran, which he never has been, because some people back in that era, it wasn't that important to them, but they didn't. So this was his first year ever being honored, and he's just elated. So thank you.
He's been overwhelmed with, on Sunday when we had the program at church, he was fine until it was time for him to sit on the front row.
Right.
And then when he sat on the front row, I think he was just overwhelmed with excitement and the fact that out of all of the veterans that was there, and I definitely want to make sure that I give a salute and a shout out to Southside Church of Christ for being able to, this was their first program that they honor veterans. And it was a phenomenal event, and they made sure that he stood out because of his age and because of him being the oldest veteran that was there. So definitely want to make sure that we say thank you to everyone who contributed towards that event.
Especially, that was Brenda Clay, who really put that program together. And one more thing they're going to do for my dad, I have to take him to the VA because they want to take his picture and put him on the Wall of Fame.
Okay, go ahead on.
Yeah,
well,
Papa doing it.
Right, exactly. That's a lot, and that's big. I'm glad he's able to, as they say, receive his flowers while he's here, because that's very important. So from me to you, sir, I appreciate your service and everything you've done. And, you know, we just hope that you continue to relish in all the things that are yet to come to you. So that's very important. And I just wanted that to be my Dad Chronicles moment, the father figure of the week. Awesome. You know, so Meka seen that, and I know you may have seen it too, but that's a dedication from Dad Chronicles to him, just as a little segment there. So, the other thing is there's been, you know, other things that are going on. I also wanted to have this opportunity for you guys. Mom, I know you do a lot in your community, you know, if there's anything in particular you wanted to talk about just in this week's past or things coming up with the holiday season before we get into what we really are here to talk about today, if there's anything you want to share.
Well, I was going to do, I'm on the PTO, and some of my neighbors or people in my subdivision call me the mayor of Winfield Lake.
I agree.
Okay.
I would happen to agree.
Yeah, me too, because I've called her a few times. She said, I just got up from over here. And I'm like, okay. All right.
Wow, that's just my blessing.
Yes.
God. And to this evening, I was going to do the literacy program, because last year I did it, and they called me this year and asked me do it again and be over the bingo. And I was going to find out my granddaughter has this, she has this big thing going on at Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
And so I had to email, I can't be there. My heart is there, but my heart has got to be with my granddaughter. So she's making this big deal to
She gonna tell it straight, and I know you torn too.
Oh, yeah.
So my niece has blossomed from one school she was going to, and she was at Carnegie, and now she's at Booker T. So you can imagine Carnegie and Booker T. Washington,
right?
And so she's actually she's a mademoiselle.
Yes.
So she is actually her so
okay.
she will actually, so you know, it's that's something for
me. Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Because I never knew her to be in that arena. And she's always been, she's very smart, very articulate. She's been, she is 15.
I wonder where 15. She get that from.
Well, you know, I'm me by me, so
right?
No, that was not something that she. But the dancing and the being a part of an organization, and the Mademoiselles, you know, they are an organization that believe in instruction.
Absolutely.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And one thing that she did say yesterday, you know, like Meka says, and she made a statement to her mom that she just hates that she's just beginning to enjoy things like that, because the other schools that she went to, they didn't have any of that. Y'all, they had was
sports.
So now she's into other things, so she's
okay.
So
well, that's good. That's good. So, Mama, this segment right here is for you, but it's really your daughter here, okay? So also every week we talk sports, right?
Oh,
you know, I dedicate a little portion to, you know, Texans and stuff like that. We had a bye week, so I really have nothing to talk about. So I just want to have Meka just share how her weekend went in regards to football.
You know, well, okay, so here's the thing. I was ill this, so I wasn't able to put on my attire on Sunday, and I think that contributed towards the loss.
Of who?
You know, I think of my, you know, and they got beat, pretty bad. You know, I'm a realist. First and foremost, I'm a realist.
Good sport.
And so they lost, and you know, we could take a loss.
Yeah.
We can't win them all.
Yeah. We did in week 1, right?
Yeah.
Happened to be against the Saints.
We'll see. We're gonna have a good interview today. We're not sports too long.
No, I was saying.
I love my brother over here.
I was saying, in
I'm
week
already
1,
starting
we lost
to
against the Saints.
over here. I'm gonna have to take this sweater off.
We lost against the Saints in week 1. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, it came back around.
And you
should have missed a good game.
That head cheerleader was not there.
That's
and
what it was.
You know, I was supporting my papa.
I got you.
So, you know,
I got you.
it was
Makes
all
sense
fun.
now.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first, you know, so, you know, hey, but anyway. I had to do it. But no, good sport. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, moving along, the other thing I would like for you to do, both just in regards to, I know you've told this story 1,000 times over. like to just in regards to time and making sure we can get everything out that we need to.
Right.
Which would be with your brother, you know.
Okay.
Whoever wants to, that's your son, Mr. Jackie L. Morris II is who we're speaking. Your son, and just how we got, who he was,
right.
you know, in regards to how you feel and things you want to share, which led to what we're talking about now, the Meka Day.
So I'll go ahead because I know we have, you know, we on time. So my brother was a leader. He was a leader. He wasn't in a household where he was missing anything. It was but he grew to have friends that we didn't know of. You know, he grew relationships with people that I didn't know. Some of the younger guys that he was involved with in the early ages. Friends, and I'll just go ahead and put it out there. My brother was killed in 2007 due to gang violence, being involved within a gang, and it was an affiliation that I wasn't aware of that he was involved in. You know what I mean? You see things, but you question.
Right.
And so when I found out that it was gang affiliated, was I shocked? I was shocked, but then I really wasn't shocked. Because I remember there were certain things that I saw, you know what I mean? But there were certain questions that I didn't ask.
Right.
So by me not asking the questions that I probably needed to ask, maybe I would have found out more than what I found out. And sometimes I think about, was I caught up into my own life and wasn't asking those questions or paying attention or seeing the people that he was involved with that we see is my little brother,
right.
You know what I mean? And we are social people, you know, my family is social people, and we have friends, and we develop relationships as time go on. And so, but he was also a leader, and I don't want that to ever get misconstrued.
Absolutely.
That he was ever missing something that he felt like he needed to be a part of. What I believe in my heart, even from that moment, is leaders want to develop more leaders.
Absolutely.
You know, they want to develop more leaders to have more followers. And if I have more followers, then my organization continues to grow.
Right.
And so that's the attitude that I've taken since this day is, you know, there were older people that were an influence who influence leaders to produce more leaders or more followers.
Right.
And then also, you know, there's the drug life that's involved with it as well. And so I just learned a whole lot in a quick time. I learned a whole lot in regards to territories being in the same affiliation. I had no idea that was even something that was, I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that the layers, the levels, I wasn't aware of that takes place as well. Exactly. I didn't know any of these things until after he was killed. But I always want to make sure that people understand that he was a leader and he wasn't missing anything from the home.
Right.
It's difficult for me sometimes to listen to my mother tell her side or how she feels, and she feels that because of her working to take care of us was one of the reasons why he adapted to this lifestyle.
Right.
And trying to figure out what it was that she did or what she didn't do, if she could have avoided what has happened. But I always like to bring to surface that it wasn't her at all. It was a decision that he made.
Right.
And that decision, but I also go in what has happened from that moment and how many lives have changed because of what I'm doing, my works.
Absolutely.
How many students and how many kids that I speak to that are in this same space that he was in, make them think, you know, because they don't know that the same affiliation can send them to their grave.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's rough.
Yeah.
You know.
To jump in right there is actually a perfect segue. So, Mom, you know, I to kind of segue to you, but we can dance and do what we need to do. I'll give you a minute, but kind of what I wanted to talk about was that point. You know, we get to hear you a lot, Meka. We know you're passionate about it and what it means to you, and you know we can appreciate that and understand that. And you're doing your service work by going back and giving back and explaining everything. And Mom, if you're able at this point, I wanted to know from your perspective, because you're not, I want to say you're not as vocal, you can be, but what is the message you want kids to understand from what you've experienced? Because you know I lost a close friend, you know, and every now and then I think about like, man, I could be doing more in regards to his namesake being DeVal Andrews, and it's sort of the same situation, so to speak, different levels to it. And I've talked to his mom, and I understand what she goes through, so I can only imagine, how it makes you feel. But just what message would you want to send, or information, or just what would you say from your own words that you want kids to understand?
This is what I realized with my son. My son had several friends that were very close. They grew up together. They were like my sons. They had my house every day, and they played sports. But when my son didn't make the team, he was convinced to come. And then when he got to Hastings, because he was such a good basketball player, when he got to Hastings, the coach did not let him make the team. From that day forward, my son picked other people to be around because his friends were all in sports. Mm-hmm. That's where it started. So I really want parents to listen and watch their kids, because I missed it. That was so important to him that he found other friends, and they were in that doing other things that he shouldn't have been doing. But I think it's all a lesson. I still believe to this day God used my son to get the message across to these other kids, because I'm not just saying it because it was my son, but that church, and it was storming that day. That church was packed shoulder to shoulder, and we have a big church. Somebody in that church left out of that situation and decided, I don't want to do this no more.
I'm going to do something different.
This happened to Lil Jackie. Lil Jackie. I didn't realize people from all over the city knew Lil Jackie until he passed. So I just hope and pray that his death wasn't in vain, that somebody's child said, I can't do this. I want to do this, because they saw Lil Jackie. Not saying my son was special, but he was.
Right. Absolutely. And that goes without saying. I mean, because it's been exactly how long now?
12 years.
Yeah.
12 years. And I mean, y'all still going strong, you know, and that's just a testament within itself. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think about certain things, and, you have these movements, and you have people organizing things, and then it dies off a little bit. Yeah. There has been no dying off. I mean, we go back to the parties and the organized venues, and even
we've had Stop the Violence marches on different sides of town.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We have taken my grandsons out there with us.
Right.
Because this is just not us. It's everybody in the family thing.
Yeah. Right.
So we're trying to get that out there. Stop the violence. Please stop killing up each other.
Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate y'all, because the things I wanted to talk about, y'all are segueing right into it, so I appreciate that, which leads me to my boys, the Morris boys. You know, his seeds, what he left behind, and, everything that goes with that, and y'all know Landon, I couldn't imagine, Dalen, Amani, I couldn't imagine not being around. So, again, in regards to, you've told them what you want to know, but talking to the parents in regards to what you've missed, and from your perspective, what are you seeing that does to the kids, even though y'all are doing a marvelous job with the boys, and always have and always will, obviously. What can you say in regards to that, how it affects, or, and I know these may be like elementary questions, but again, this audience may not have heard this before. And it's important that repetition too. Right, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you missed it. You missed certain things, and you can say it over and over and over again. It's like reading the Bible or reading the book. Every time you read it, you're gonna get something different. So, what should the kids or the parents get and understand about kids that are left behind, specifically to violence, in gang violence?
Well, I'll say this, just for those who don't know, about my brother's kids. My oldest nephew, his oldest son, was 6 months when he got killed, and then his youngest son was actually in his mother's belly. And so I'll just give you an example. The youngest nephew, he takes it a little bit harder than the oldest nephew, which was the one who never got a chance to know who he was. And just give you an example, these are kids who want to go. We've taken them to the cemetery, and they've washed their father's grave. They've cleaned up his headstone.
That's powerful.
And they want to be involved. And there's also my nephew who, he you know, it's the things at school, the father son, the donuts, the donuts with dad, you know, and we try to figure it out and try to make sure that we put other men in their life to be able to fulfill the void that we may think that they are in. But it's difficult. You know, I hurt for my nephews every birthday. I hope for them. You know, every holiday, I hurt for them. I'm gonna hurt for them tomorrow because
Absolutely.
there's things that they're gonna miss out on. And one of the things that we did do, one of my oldest nephew had pictures with his dad because he was 6 months, but my youngest nephew didn't have any pictures with him. So that was questions that was asked about, you know, about him not having pictures. And so shout out to Von G, who took one of my nephew's pictures, the oldest, and put the youngest nephew's face on it.
Yeah.
And so now he has a picture with his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just those things. So I'll let my mom talk to you, you guys more about some of the things that she's talked to them about and what they've asked questions about as well.
Yeah, it's difficult. But piggybacking what you just said, yesterday, Jaden, which is the oldest, he said, "Mima," I say, "Yeah, what's up, baby?" He said, "Can you come pick me up?" He didn't say us, me up tomorrow, Thursday night, and I spend the night and we go to the cemetery. I go to the cemetery with you. I said, "No, but you got to go to school." So we made the deal that I will not put all the flowers on the cemetery grave and leave some flowers for them. So little stuff like that. But the hardest part is my son not seeing his boys grow up. That's hard for me.
Yeah.
And it's so many negative people out there that they could get involved with, and me and Jamaica are trying our best to keep them involved with people that are going to keep them on the right path.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's so easy.
Absolutely.
Especially Corbin, like Jamaica said, he's the one that yearns for that male attention. It used to bother him. I don't know about now. But when they would have father, sons at the school, and somebody else would come there with their son and he didn't have one. Right. Oh, he would be just torn.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I mean, I'm like, what can I do? But I'm telling you, in these last few months, when I met you and Roy, y'all have really made an impact on my grandsons. They love you. You show up when they have nobody else to show up. Yes, you know, it's unfortunate, but my brothers, both my brothers, so I don't have a male figure to come and support them. Yes. I don't have uncles. My mom was an only child. My dad was an only child. So I solicit all the help I can get because I don't want them to miss out and be miserable because they don't have their dad here. Yeah.
And let me just say this. Also, we don't solicit inconsistent people. Absolutely. We solicit consistent people. Mm-hmm. You have to understand when there's already a void in a child's life, there's already a space that needs to be filled, and we don't need flip-flop. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And because these are hearts that they're torn, and they're tender and sensitive. And what people have to understand is when you make a conscious decision to say that I'm going to do this because my heart says that I need to do this for children, that you continue to be held accountable for being that individual, because there's too many kids that have inconsistencies in their household. Absolutely. And they're looking and they're yearning for that empty space. And if you are an individual that is not going to be committed to being that individual, then don't be a disservice to them and crush their heart even more to the point to where they won't let anybody else in. Yeah. And there's a lot of that's going around, and we see it. You know, you and I see it all the time. If you are going to, and I don't want people to misunderstand, we aren't looking for individuals because we're not soliciting for people to come in their lives or anything like that. We are grateful and blessed to have the gentlemen that have taken on the responsibility to say, these are not going to be the boys that's going to be lost in the shuffle. These young men, because of their loss, because of their soft, sensitive hearts, we're going to make sure that we do whatever is necessary to make sure that we're going to fulfill the void that they already have. So
absolutely.
Yes.
And another,
they even have this one of the his name is Mr. Roy Moore, principal at what's the name of the school? Nottingham Elementary, and he still calls and checks up on them. You know, he was the mentor for them when they went to that school.
Yeah.
So, you know, like Jamaica said, we need people that's consistent. I've had other people that said they were going to be there, and
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's okay. I would rather them not be there than be inconsistent. I would rather you show me who you are, because that's not what their need. I am overprotective of my nephews. I'm sensitive. I don't let them, you know what I mean? I'm overprotective. Like I'm that aunt.
And that's how you have to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I don't want, and that's why I don't want people to think that, you know, no, we are a family, and that's not just for my nephews though. That's for all the people, all the children
absolutely,
that have a void that needs to be fulfilled, needs that consistency.
Yeah, and in regards to any need really that the kids need, because speaking on that, you know, I had a talk with Corbin, and we have to understand as adults and as mentors, and now I'm speaking on the chess club, Dad Chronicles Chess Club. Me and him had a conversation one day, and you can't force kids to open up or to do what you want them to do. You have to come from the standpoint of understanding where they're at, figuring out what you can do to aid in their process and get them in the right direction. So with the combination, shout out to Roy Dillard and Doc George Houston, because there was a connected conversation is what I'll call it, to where Corbin has spoken to a couple of us, and you know, we'll get a little bit, you know, and y'all know him, so he gets a little reserved. He talks to another one, and then he gets to the point that he needs. So for me, or for Roy, or for Doc, I'm sure I can speak for them, it doesn't matter to me that I didn't get the nugget, you know what I'm saying, or I didn't get the breakthrough. It's about doing your part and making sure that you guide and aid them to be comfortable to get to that process. And, you know, he made a promise to me the last time they came, and he was like, I'm going to make sure I talk to somebody, because he just wasn't ready to fully open that day. And I said, okay, well, all you need to do is make sure you want the help, yes, because he was upset that day, you know, and you're going to talk to somebody about it. He said, yes. So the next time I saw him, you do that? He's like, what? And we talked about it. He's like, I did. I said, okay. And so I don't have to get into why and who and this, that, and the other. So my point in saying all that is, as long as you are consistent, no matter what you're doing for them, it goes a very, very, very long way, you know, and you don't have to worry about being the one that's making that difference, as long as you're making an impact, you know. And so I appreciate y'all for also getting them involved with the chess club. And so, of course, they can't always make it because of the things. They're busy, y'all. They just like Andy, they got different things going on, and you know, excuse me. Kids are going to lose interest. They're going to go and come back and all that type of stuff. But again, you just have to make sure you're doing what you need to do. So that just goes out to anybody that's trying to do anything in regards to the community and service and, you know, pouring into these kids' lives. Like they say, y'all hearing it here first, for people who are actually dealing with it on a daily basis, because the chess club for me is once a week. I mean, my service is every day, but the event is once a week, and they're not going to always be able to get that one event, whether it's mine or somebody else's. But as long as they can remember something, that's my goal. Like you said, the people in the church, as long as it was one person, you know, so that's the biggest thing for me. So I totally agree with everything y'all saying.
And shout out to you, though. Shout out to you for taking the charge to start Dad Chronicles. I know I put you on the spot. It had been in your mind and your heart for a while. But you made a major impact around the city. You made a major impact, and shout out to you for bringing these boys together, bringing girls together, and being consistent. You've been consistent, and that's what's needed. And when you know, I remember my kindergarten teacher, and I remember her name was Miss Stopshinsky. And because of, remember her?
I have a picture with you and her.
I remember that lady, and I'm 41 years old. So that just goes to show you, when someone makes an impact and when they're consistent and they want to see the growth in you and see you as an individual and want to see you succeed, then they'll remember that.
Absolutely.
So when making conscious decisions and going back to your core values, you will remember those people who's going to hold you accountable for the things that you do and the decisions that you make. So shout out to you for doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Which again, I guess would lead me to the next thing. So what I would like to do at this point, and is going to be kind of like an on the spot. Maybe you remember everything, maybe you don't. But before we talk about the current 2019 Meka Day that's taking place again on this Saturday, November 16th, Hess Club.
Yes.
10 or 11?
It's 11 to 2.
11 to 2.
Yes.
I want to talk about a snapshot.
Okay.
Of everything you can remember since its passing, just things you've done.
Okay.
And y'all can just chime in together just to give them an idea of the progression and the ideas, and and it's not for nobody to steal ideas or anything like that, because I know you don't, but what I'm saying is listen to the things that have happened because it's serious. If you just give them, just what you can remember, and I know, like I said, it's on the spot, and you've done a lot. You've done a lot, so just throw it out there. And Mama, you too.
So I'll go back to original. In 2000, my brother got killed in 2007 at Amity Park in A-Leaf. And I'll let everybody, it was a shootout in the parking lot or whatever, but my brother was actually shot execution style in between two vehicles. And just to let everybody know, there were 5 individuals that were involved, and this was a setup. It wasn't something that was random. It was a setup within the own organization. So I always like to say that, and I always share that when I'm speaking to kids because, 7.
Yeah.
And I always share that when speaking to kids in the schools because I want them to understand the person who you say that's your brother or your sister can be that same brother or sister to set you up within that organization. So make those conscious decisions when making decisions to get involved. But so some of the things that I've done, my promise to myself, my promise to my brother was that even though he was killed, that his name wouldn't go in vain, and it would be about the positive things within the city or wherever it was that I could carry his name and attach his name to it. Absolutely. So one of the things that I did was, because it happened in A-Leaf, I started having A-Leaf mixers where I started getting the alumni together and trying to get the alumni to showcase to the younger generation, which was his generation and beyond and below, that we need to stick together as family and not because of an organization divide one another and be put in this situation. So that was the first thing. That was the initial thing, was to get the alumni involved.
But before you go past that, I have to say I can remember those days. And it was just that. It was like a reunion, and I can say myself, not even realizing the actual purpose behind it. So you've been purposeful and intentional for a very, very, very long time. It wasn't shortly after that we intentionally got together and making sure, my birthday, hey, come celebrate your birthday. It was all around the same time, all this type of stuff. But that's a big thing just within itself, how you like, man, what can I do?
The
people you get involved, it's already family, and it just made it even bigger.
So we did that. We went to, at the time it was called Rodeo Square. We went back to Rodeo Square and we helped rebuild a park that was there. It was a drug infested park that they had did a lot of graffiti all over the parks, and there were some different things that was there. So we collaborated with some organizations in Houston and rebuilt that park in Rodeo Square. So everybody knows what Rodeo, and now it's called the Mint. It may be called something else now.
Probably. I think it is. But right there by Elsie.
But did that, and then I started speaking in the schools. So I started speaking in the schools. We have an annual A-Leaf reunion weekend that's been going on strong. Next year it'll be 10 years where we have the alumni come back and participate in a basketball game. We get the youth involved. We've offered scholarships through the A-Leaf Independent School District. I have over 7,000 hours in community service that I've done since 2007, which earned me where I am today, where we'll be celebrating tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
And then, just giving back during the holidays. We've had bowling fundraisers. We've had flag football games within the school district to be able to provide, and it was toy entries to be able to give toys back to individuals.
Have you done volleyball games?
I haven't done volleyball. I haven't done volleyball nor kickball. I've done softball, but I haven't done volleyball or
kickball. But it was softball.
Yeah, I've done all of those things.
Mama, you remember anything you want to throw out there? I know she covered it all.
Well, like I said, we did a couple of Stop the Violence rallies. We did one in A-Leaf, and we did one on the north side off of Homestead. We did it with Kathy Bluford Daniels, who was running for who was going to run off for a position on the school board.
Yes, ma'am.
because her son was murdered by accident. The dude thought he was killing somebody he had a fight with, and he shot him and sitting in the car.
Wow.
And so, also, I mean, I'm gonna do things on the scale as the big scale as Meka, but I do things especially like in my neighborhood.
Yes.
In the summertime, the children come to my house and we have Uno tournaments on the driveway.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
The kids, everybody know we're going to Mimo's house.
No, I message you all the time. Meka only doing it because of you. It came
Right.
from you.
Right. I didn't even know that.
You know,
I
right?
didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to me when I go back to her neighborhood and everybody's talking about how much they love her.
Right.
We just love your mama.
Yeah.
We just love your mama.
Absolutely.
And so I'm like, she over there, I'm over here.
Yeah.
We meet in between.
And I'm finna plug this again right now because I have my beautiful mother in the studio
Yes.
as usual.
Yes.
Y'all two need to continue to talk even more so y'all can, get locked in, just because of the situations, it's just so similar.
Yeah.
So that's on y'all, to make that happen. But so what I'll do now too is kind of plug in, this is where we make the connection from Dad Chronicles to Meka Day. And why are we calling it Meka Day?
So
Officially.
So in 2017, someone sent me a text message and said, I need you to email me your community resume. And I was like, community resume? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I said, what is that? And she said, I just need to know everything that you've done within the community and just put it in the resume. And I'm like, man, I've done a whole lot of stuff. Like, so I went back and I had to use Facebook. So Facebook is a good deed.
Yeah, it's a resource.
It's a good resource. I went back and I looked at everything that I do a flyer.
I'm sorry, can I pause right there quick?
Yes.
Say it again. Facebook is a resource.
It is.
I just talk about Facebook all the time on different levels. Facebook is not for the mess. It's not for all this nonsense. If y'all use it for the platform it was meant to be, great things can happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm a firm believer.
Yes.
And so I went back and I looked and I sent her the resume. So after I looked at the resume myself, I kind of, I got emotional myself.
Right.
Because I went back to what it was originally for. My brother's name was not going to go in vain. And so I looked at it and I looked at all the new relationships that I built that had no idea who he was.
Right.
But now know who he is based on the works that I've done. So I sent her the resume and couple of weeks, it may even been 3 or 4 weeks later, she asked me for a date. And I was like, okay. So I said November the 15th. So I gave her the date and she said, so what's the significance of the date? And I said, that's my brother's birthday. And she said, okay. So a couple of weeks after that, she sent me an email and I earned a proclamation day. The city of Houston gave me a proclamation day. And I always like to say, if it was left up to me, I'm grateful. For it to be Meka Day, but if it was left up to me, it would be Jackie L. Morris' second day.
Absolutely.
But he is definitely included in my proclamation.
Yeah.
He was definitely included in all of the details. So it is Meka Day, but it really is Jackie L. Morris' second day. That's
what's up. What does that mean to you, Mom? To have a day for him?
I can't explain it. I just thank Jamaica. Excuse me.
That's
Meka
okay.
Diamond so much for everything she's done, because she and Jackie were very close. My oldest daughter, she was like the mother of the three of them, but her and little Jackie, they were very, very close.
Very close. So close. I still have one of his jerseys in my closet.
Yeah.
I was wearing his tennis shoes after he passed away because we were wearing the same size.
Yeah.
And it's just so we were really close.
I had on his jacket yesterday. On my corner.
That's good. That's good. So let's get into it. So, but for me, this, it just kind of speaks to everything that moves on my heart right now, and representing Dad Chronicles, my movement. People know about that already. I tried to explain it last week. I hope y'all understand that. My purpose and my reasoning behind it, along with this podcast, is to share different things from week to week that are actually reaching out into community, because as you can hear everything Meka does, that's also the same thing that I aspire to do and have the ambition to do, and just keep reaching, because it's a selfless act is what you have to understand. And we talked about this day that's coming up on Saturday. I didn't know what I wanted to do or how I was going to do it and stuff like that. And so I wanted to make sure I did something intentionally, you know, and I want people to know we've been talking about this the whole time, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just clear the air. I hope people can get past any confusion that was, you know, and I apologize in regards to the post where, you know, it was certain things I had to do in order for people to understand, you know, that it was for both of us. But with that being said, we've been working together in regards to it. And so, you know, being an official sponsor is important to me in regards to Dad Chronicles and the Reach podcast. So I'm glad to be a part of that. But let's now, you know, we have about 20 minutes left. You can talk about, you thank whoever you want to thank, or just talk about the event, because of course we'll be doing this more. But what can people expect come Saturday?
Oh man.
And how did it happen?
Wow. So when I received the proclamation day, in 2017, and I actually received it and a congressional award from Sheila Jackson Lee on November the 15th, 2017. I had a ceremony, remember, and I had it with close people, you know, those who have helped me along the way in all of my community efforts, as well as those who knew my brother, you know, who knew him and knew my efforts, knew my hard work. I've had a lot of jobs since then, and I've been blessed that I had the opportunity to, my jobs would let me do my community service and still be paid for the things that I needed to be paid for. So I've been extremely grateful for that, and I know that God has been taking care of me because of that, because of my heart and passion for the things that I do. But so I decided that, you know, this day is not going to be a celebration or a day that's just set with the city of Houston. Do service work. You know, we're going to do service work in honor of how I received it. And because of that, I came up with, I've been doing, it wasn't called Share the Feast at first, but I have been always collecting turkeys. And the year before I actually officially called it Share the Feast, I had collected 60 turkeys for some churches and some seniors, and was out late, you know, the night before Thanksgiving, passing out turkeys with some other affiliate organizations. And so I decided, you know what, when I get my day, or after I got my day, you know, this is going to be my initiative. My initiative is going to be, but I'm not just going to do turkeys. I want to do boxes. I want to have, you know, those who have a family to be able to say, you know what, I have all the things that I need for a holiday meal. And not just the turkey, not just the ham, but I'm going to have all the sides and the trimmings. And then I put a letter of gratitude and thanks, and all of those who helped put this box together as a letter of love, that they have a good holiday season. So that's one less thing that they'll have to worry about. So the first year I probably did maybe about 10 families. Last year we probably had about 20, 25. This year we are feeding 280 people out of what we have collected. And, you know, I've been looking at every time I get a name, and I'm just like, wow.
Yes.
You know,
that's
like
huge. And that's like what, 70 families?
It's like 70 boxes. We're gonna do 70 boxes.
Huge.
And I'm just looking like, wow, you know. I received a call this morning from, it's so funny, God, it's so funny, but I received a call this morning, right, from a school, and the lady, she was talking to me about something about helping her with a senior event for Thanksgiving. And so she said, let me connect you to somebody at another school. So she puts this lady on the phone, and this lady says, I have 5 families in my school that need dinners, right? So I said, what school is this? And she said, Gregory Lincoln. And my sister is the secretary to the principal at Gregory Lincoln. So all I could think about was, Lord, you sent up my brother to my sister's school. And so not only is all types of families, I have hospitals that are calling me, Methodist Memorial. It's just funny how I'm just so grateful for everybody who's playing a part in this weekend, because it's being spread all over the city, the north side, then Katy, and now to go to my sister's school, like, it just got that close.
Right.
And I said to my sister, they put me on speakerphone, and I said, hey, sister.
Yeah.
And she said, hey sister. And so it's just so funny that, you know, I'm just grateful every time I get somebody who's saying they're sending something. I probably had about maybe 10, 12 sponsors. I'm looking at like 25, 30 sponsors this year.
Yeah.
And it's not all financial. It's either volunteering or providing even macaroni. One macaroni, you know, will make a difference. So I'm just extremely excited about this weekend. I have a personal story that I'm going to share that has happened as well that I haven't shared, but I'm going to share that on Saturday also. So we just excited. I'm just happy.
That's
I'm
good.
happy.
That's good. And this is a good time too, because over the last couple of weeks, as you know, I've had people inboxing me or tagging me saying, you know, they want to help based on posts and seeing us together and stuff like that. So at this time, be a good time if they want to volunteer. Are you still accepting monetary sponsors? Are you still accepting volunteer sponsors?
Listen.
And how can they reach you?
I'm accepting everything, you know, either it be monetary, because I'll say this, even if I have over, and I said, even if I have over where it's monetary, or, you know, there's another holiday that's right around the corner, and whatever I have left over, I can still contribute towards Christmas. You know, I can buy toys. I'm involved with the Joy of Giving Project with WYF. We are involved with the Joy of Giving Project. We're involved with the Sheila Jackson Lee Toys for Kids. Nothing is going to be a loss. Whatever we have that we can contribute towards this holiday or next holiday, we'll have enough. So you can reach out to me on any of my social media sites. I'm Meka Diamond on Facebook, Instagram. I can send you the PayPal, because I send invoices or requests so that you can have it for your records that you contributed. I love to showcase those individuals who are participating, because you don't have to do what you did. So I make flyers, and I make sure that within the thank you letter that all of these families are receiving, your name will be listed so they will know who contributed towards their box. So any and every way that we can do what we need to do in order to, you know, bring light to the city, based on the things. It's not a Meka thing. It's an everybody collective thing, collectively thing. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to God to be in this space, for him to use me, to just be a blessing and use everybody else that's sitting alongside. I'm grateful for my mom. I know it's difficult for my mom.
What else, Mom, you want to throw in too?
I know it's difficult for her. And let me just say this. Let me say this. I got mad at her a couple of years ago, right? Remember, I got mad. I sent it to her and my dad, right? I was a little upset because there was things that I thought that they should be more involved in when it comes. And I had to understand how painful it was for them. And them doing so much that I do. And I had to understand that it's the little that they do, I'm appreciative. And my mom does a lot, you know, but I was like, you know, there's certain things I think that, you know, I don't want to carry it all.
You want to be out there.
But I'm grateful for her and what she does do, but that was an understanding that I had to have. I had to understand from a parent's perspective how difficult, and I had to get past that point. But what keeps me going is by continuously doing so. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna publicly say I'm sorry.
That's good.
Because I had to explain it to her. I said, and I do a lot, but I was like, I just can't. Sometimes it's hard. Some years it's not as bad, and in some years I don't want to get up out the bed.
You know, and like she told me, and like I share with her, you know, I have about 3 or 4 months out the year that are extremely hard. So I understand. I've had those losses as well too. And you know, she's like, it's just November, you know, and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to make sure everything good, you know, but the passion is there, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, also Dad Chronicles, the Reach podcast, we've, you know, the monetary part has already come in, the voluntary part, I'll be there in representation. My mom will be there, but there's more to come too, you know, and so it just goes back to what you were saying and what I was asking you. You know, I'm running the fundraiser for the entire month, you know, and the way I set that up was in honor of my birthday and in honor of Meka Day, and it's something that she knew about and we talked about, because you have to be sensitive to people's situation, which speaks to what you were saying in regards to your mom. And then I was saying a minute ago, there was light misunderstanding, but there was certain ways I had to word it, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to make sure everybody understands, no, this is what I'm saying is for. You know, and so that is what has happened, and Meka's fully aware of that. And so moving forward, I'm running it for the whole month. So like she says, it didn't stop because my birthday passed. It's not going to stop because November 16th and 15th has passed. We're going to move forward, and anything comes in, which is another thing, just kind of segue into Dad Chronicles a little bit and giving you information. Now I'm also approved. We already did A-Leaf, but this past week now I'm approved through Katy, Fort Bend, A-Leaf, HISD. I'm an approved mentor and speaker in all of those school districts, because my thing is to be able to be called upon and to be able to go anywhere. I don't want a parent to reach out to me and say, I need you to go speak to my student, and I can't go there.
Right.
Because, and it's called being proactive. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know people in all those school districts, but I plan to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it could be people that I connect with through Meka or through the day or just through the neighborhood, or somebody you playing Uno with, you know. Is it Tyler? What was the young man name that was here over the summer? He's way out somewhere.
That was it.
I can't think of the young man that was there, but it's a cousin or something y'all have. I cannot think of his name. Forgive me. But my point is he went back home is what it was, and he's in another area. So the point is being able to reach out. He was there with Corbin and Jaden. Man, I have it on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, that was
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But just the point is,
he lives in Port Arthur.
yes,
Right.
him, yes. So, like, in other words, just being proactive to get in areas to where you can go and reach out. So now, just talking to parents or anybody, Dad Chronicles is a movement. Again, soon to be finalizing the nonprofit portion of, yes, Tanari. Have him in my phone still. You know, I just need to send him a text. But it's important that you do what you can, be proactive in any way you can. And right now, that's the arena that I'm in, to be able to proactively go and seek out situations, be consistent, like you say, or just be available as a resource that we're trying to present ourselves as. And that's the same thing that Meka does. So getting back to the fundraiser, y'all please give. And it doesn't matter. They can give straight to Meka. They can give to Dad Chronicles, but it's all going to go towards something, you know, that's going to be helpful. And like you said, we can give back from ourselves for the Toys for Kids, create our own initiatives. You know, there's plenty of things that we can do to make a difference. And it all takes monetary. It takes personal time. It takes, you know, gas money. Like I said, there's all those small things that people don't really realize. And it's a selfless act that's being done.
And I'm still getting names. I mean, I got another school called me this morning. They have 25 families. So there's still a need.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It doesn't just stop on Saturday. I mean, there's two more weeks left prior to Thanksgiving. So, you know, and then here's the thing that people have to understand. It's a collective effort. It's not an organization being on top of another organization. It's a collective effort. And I hope that people will understand that if you join forces with other people, it becomes larger. The initiative becomes larger. You know, it becomes more large, I should say. And it helps in more areas. More areas. There's a lot of people that's caught up on being on top, being the largest logo on the flyer, you know, and it's not even about that. If your heart is in it, if you're consistent and you want to if you want to be intentional in your movement and the things that you're doing, then you'll be collective with other organizations. So that's one of the biggest things. And although you have Dad Chronicles, I have Visible Evidence, I have all type of other things that's going, you know, other organizations that we come together and we work together when we do things. So, you know, people got to get out of that
selflessness.
Space.
I keep saying,
get out of that
you
space.
Know, it's not about what one individual doing and one organization is doing. Everybody gets together, like you said. There's a larger reach. So, also, if you'll repeat the time and the location so that's clear again for Saturday.
Yes, the time is 11 to 2 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, so it's 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. and it's at the Hess Club. It's 5430 Westheimer Road, and we will be there. Those who want to volunteer, if you can get there around 10:30, we'll be setting up so we can start doing boxes at 11. I will say this, for those who are a breast cancer survivor, if you're in support of breast cancer, there are three organizations, that will be there that is supporting breast cancer. There's Reconstruction of a Survivor, also the Foxhole family, which is who's contributing 50 turkeys towards Saturday. But they're going to be in their own breast cancer colors. They're going to be in pink, different shades of pink. So if you are and you would like to represent that, you know, breast cancer, then we recommend, or you know, you can wear your pink, your T-shirt. If you have another organization, you can do that as well, because we want to make sure that everybody networks as well.
Absolutely. Well, y'all heard it here first, so that's good. Mom, anything you want to leave with us or share in regards to just any of the items that we're talking about?
I just want to wish my son a happy birthday tomorrow.
Absolutely. Me?
Oh man. What do I want to say? I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who has continued to support us, my family, not just myself, for the past 12 years, regardless to whatever we have done. I've had a lot of support in a lot of different areas. So I'm just grateful for those who, even prayers, like if you can't contribute, if you can't be where we are having an event or where we're doing something, the prayers, I'm grateful for the prayers. I'm great, keep my mother and my father in your prayers tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm pretty sure, I know for sure that it's going to be a difficult day for them. And just our family, can bless our efforts in any way that we can contribute, whatever we can do across the city, across the world, whatever it is that we can do. Organizations who are intentional in their movement, we recommend highly, suggest you reach out to me, reach out to L Boogie over here. And also, I want to say thank you for these beautiful flowers.
That's what I was getting ready to touch on.
That we received.
This is Mr. Jackie in the building. That's representation of Jackie L. Morris II. And it's just that hit me at the last moment. I was thinking about, like I said, it's still more to come, and it's things I was thinking about. And when I got to the store this morning, it had the blue, it had the white, and I was like, no, we need to, based off flower colors, I said we need to change it to yellow. Not even thinking about the service, but it just all works out, man. Everything's intentional. God makes things happen the way He needs to, and I just appreciate y'all for being bold enough again to come on here again. For the Reach podcast, is the first time you've shared here on my platform, so I really appreciate the opportunity to do that and get the message out, because it is a big thing, and like I said, trying to keep my word and make sure, I support in any way, shape, form, or fashion that I can. And that's the biggest thing, man. Support each other. If you guys will pull together, we can go to games, we can have parties, we can go out, we can do all these things. If we pull together for the betterment of the immediate community, and then just keep growing, again, the reach just reaches out, But just stay connected. Shout out to my chess club kids. We had an awesome time this past weekend. I know y'all missed that. I know y'all were with Dad though. It was amazing, man. The places I found out they're actually closing down, so I was looking forward to more opportunities to go there. And so either they don't care, got a little careless, if the over at the Black Labrador pub, and they left the chess pieces outside, and somebody came and took a few of the chess pieces. Wow. So I had to have my mom and a few of the other ladies, they were stand-in chess pieces. We had to improvise on the spot. And so that's why if you look at the pictures, you'll see a bunch of people standing on the chessboards. But man, when I tell you, the kids, they enjoyed it. It's something we've been talking about. We were finally able to do it. And I mean, they enjoyed it, and it was something different. We've been talking about that, and the consistency too. It's always about timing. You just never know when it's going to work out. And we had a great turnout that day. So
it was an amazing turnout. Yes. Like, it was really good, and it was cold.
And but it was perfect though. Yeah. It wasn't that cold. Mama didn't complain, so I know it wasn't that cold. But it worked out, man. And it was my birthday eve, as I say. So that was special to me as well, to spend time with those kids, man, and then get to spend a little time with Landon. But that's what it's all about. I want to make sure that people understand that is every Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. I had a brand new student from the Indian culture. They came out, the mom, the dad, and the daughter. It's the family that was from Pearland a while back. They finally came. And so if there's any males or women too, if you have an area of town that you want to start that up in, I'm all for it, because, I'm getting requests to do that, and that is something that we're gearing up to try to do, move around, or even have a mobile chess club is kind of an idea I play with, meet somewhere different week to week.
You need a mobile, you need a sponsor.
Absolutely.
To get like the food trucks, to get you a mobile chess club truck.
She said, there it is,
Man, that would be so cool.
Yeah. I received it.
He pulling up at birthday parties and all kind of stuff.
Absolutely, just like the game
man,
truck.
Don't y'all steal my idea,
right?
Man.
Yeah, we stamping it right now. You gonna head that up. See, once she do something, it's gonna happen. And we have a special event that we got to talk about. You've been busy. We're gonna wait till next month. Y'all look forward to a very, very, very special event that's gonna be dear to my heart, and Meka's excited about it, and we're gonna announce that soon. But that's coming soon. But we gotta get out of here. So again, it's Dad Chronicles, the Reach podcast. Find us on Instagram, Facebook. Meka, you want to share again?
Sure.
your how they can find you.
Yeah, you can go on Instagram. I am Meka_Diamond. Also, Visible Evidence, VCABLE Evidence, as well as on Facebook. Or you can tune in every Monday through Friday, again 8:00 a.m. Central Standard Time on www.gmcradio.com or 90.3 GMC on the TuneIn app.
Absolutely, and if you're in the Winfield Lakes area,
I am Meka, Diamond's mother. I am Mimo.
right?
I am the mayor of Winfield Lake.
Okay.
I just love everything. Thank you for having me, and God bless you.
And that's a lifetime election too. There's no revoting or it doesn't expire. None of that.
Right.
And lastly, I want to say shout out to Miss Danielle. As a birthday present, I have Dad Chronicles apparel now,
Awesome.
which we're gonna put online. That can be another little donation, gift, fundraising type idea we're gonna have going on, man. So I appreciate you, Miss Danielle, for that, and a few other people that have given me certain things for the birthday, and I will be getting that publicized here very soon.
Awesome.
But again, this is the Reach Podcast with Meka Diamond, Momma P. We appreciate y'all. This show reaches beyond the ears of the listeners. Thank y'all.